You're listening to the True Bull Virtual Cast with Goonie and Nemo.
It's always the first take.
Is it true? Is it bull?
Bull.
You decide.
True.
That's right. Bull.
Hey, tape recorder. I know you can hear that,
That's what she said.
but listen to this.
Welcome to episode 323 of the True Bull Virtual Cast with Goonie and Nemo. Brought to you by Nemo Graphics?
None other than Nemo Graphics and hand in hand with J&T Mechanical.
That's right. And recorded with all my dogs at the rambunctious virtual country Nemosa Studios
You can say that.
in Canton, Texas. Why
Tape recorder. We've got a lot. Where?
Canton, Texas, bro.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like Canton, Ohio, but Canton, Texas. Now, I know you said since it was Labor Day weekend that you wanted to discuss, have like a special fantasy edition of the True Bull Virtual Cast. So I made some notes here. Fantasy is some of my favorite stuff. I personally like Backdoor Friends 8. Backdoor Friends 8, Humpers.
No.
Yeah, what?
Wait.
The ninth one, you're right. The ninth one was much better. It's like a special delivery in the back.
No, a special episode of Fantasy FoosBall.
What?
That is something I would do.
Okay.
Dude, you just had a blonde moment.
No. I mean, I'm just saying, who doesn't like a good fantasy every now and then?
Right.
Like sometimes I pretend I have a really cool co-host.
No, you don't.
It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy.
Put that away.
Anyway, so I guess that'll do it. You've been listening to episode 323.
No. This special episode is brought to you by J&T Mechanical. Thank you
unscripted.
to the Joneses. Really appreciate it.
They are actually going to be sponsoring the official tailgating
Football
fantasy draft tonight.
And that's tonight.
So I hope they will be our backdoor friends.
Okay, no.
No?
August 27th. Today is August 27th. Happy Tuesday.
Wow. Tuesday?
Yes.
You know what that means?
It means recycling.
It means that we are 4 days removed, or actually 3 days removed, from an awesome gig this past weekend at the Dog Co. Tal Spackman killed it on fiddle, just as always. Mikey Leroy.
I'll tell you what, that boy good.
Woo, man. Great staff.
Okay.
They took care of us. It was awesome.
Yes, the staff was amazing. Now we had to keep the decibel levels down to a minimum, not a minimum, but they had to be at 63, and we were always clocking in at 66, 70, 75, and we didn't want to get shut down, but Julian, our drummer, had brought an amazing drum set.
God.
It is.
What was it, a 1969 or
1974?
1974.
Yeah, that
North.
is it was a North drum set.
Cool,
and
that
the
was
thing
beautiful.
about these drum sets, the
They're
first
loud.
that were made were fiberglass, and then they went to a plastic. But this is the original one.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful drum set.
Hell yeah, it is.
But the problem is they've got sound projectors on it. It's like a curved shell. So when he hits it, you will hear it.
What do they call like those ones that were like the cannon? They're not cannons, but what are they called? The bass drums with the boom, not the boom.
Oh, they were turbo drums.
Turbo.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it was. And so anytime he would hit it, no matter how soft he was trying to play, it was still, I mean, honestly, 64 decibels, I can fart into a microphone and go 75. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa. Let's not try. These are great mics.
And that's without trying.
Okay.
If I'm trying, I could probably hit 90. I could probably hit 90. I'm just
suggest,
not trying to toot my own horn or horn my own toot. What?
No. I suggest that next time Virtual Country plays, you've got to check these guys out.
Dude.
They are the real deal.
Dude,
oh, my goodness.
I can tell you this. We had not played together with that group since I want to say it was last year.
Yeah, and hadn't rehearsed one
Hadn't
lick.
rehearsed one time, and everything was perfect. I couldn't have scripted it any better, for lack of a better term. That Mikey knocked one out of the park. Julian was just, if he hadn't had to just sit there and try to play so softly, I have no doubt he would have killed everybody in that place because it was freaking amazing, that drum set, dude.
So an aside, Mikey Leroy, he's a husband, he's a dad. He's busy. He's
also our brother.
Firefighter. Yeah. So he's
on top of that,
and I believe he's in a couple of other bands too. He's moonlighting.
Oh my
God! What are you gonna?
They're
do?
lucky. They're lucky.
But you ask him
amazing.
to do it, and this guy comes strong.
Yeah. We did some songs that he had never done before, and he kind of just watched Tim for about 13 seconds, and then knew exactly where everything was going to go, and it was just that easy. And again, Tal was just as pro as you can be, Julian. And
thank you to the Nashville chord system.
You kicked some guitar. We were, everybody that kept coming in saying, "Turn that guitar player up, man. We want to hear him."
And then after the sixth song, they said, "Turn that guitarist down, would you?"
DJ ReNation held down the sound and popped some good songs. It's cool how there were some people there doing some two-stepping while we were playing, and then they were bumping and grinding when Renee started playing his DJ music. But everybody stayed because the ones who wanted to hear the band wanted to hear that. The guys who liked the DJ were killing it, man. And
I
like I said,
to do sidestepping myself.
Yeah, and the staff again, they were as always, just the best.
Thank you to bartender
pros.
number 4.
Yes, thank you.
That's how I knew her. That's all I know. She had a 4.
Okay. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great time.
We are so wasting time.
We'll be there next week. But I mean, not next week, next month.
Yes.
But anyway, getting to what we actually wanted to talk about, we'll be doing the fantasy football draft this evening.
All right.
Trying to get a couple more players to show up because now that Tracy has agreed to sponsor it,
yes.
We need to get the right nuggets. I mean, players, right?
Wow.
But that gets me going with, I know NFL football doesn't start for another week and a half, but today is a very important day. It's Tuesday at 4 o'clock. I think they have the cutoff. All teams have to be down to 53 players. So a lot of folks are being fired today from their respective teams.
Yeah, so when you get to Bill Miller,
wow,
be very... you got to be very understanding because it's probably a tight end who's working at Bill Miller.
And now he's going to be a wide receiver.
Yeah, this is Fred. Let me take your order.
Oh, so you said the sausage wasn't in the bag? Well, where do you want me to put it?
Whoa.
And he did. And I he calls me Sweet Tea now.
No, that's fantasy.
That's lemon merengue, my favorite music.
If anybody out there is doing the fantasy football draft, no, is that the fantasy football league?
No, that's my lemon merengue.
Oh no. Okay, well then cue the music for the fantasy football.
Right. We should have done a cha-cha-cha ending. We'll do that in the next take, and we'll just cut directly to it. So
no, we won't.
Okay. So anyway, fantasy football. If you're looking at your list right now and you're trying to figure out who do I want to be my fantasy guy, it looks like everybody's number one at this point is going to be Christian McCaffrey. And that could be a really good pick because with what's going on with Brandon Ayuk, with will he or will he not sign with the 49ers, that could mean that McCaffrey is going to have a lot more touches, a lot more chances to score. But then again, without Ayuk, with that deep ball threat, they might just load up the line and try to stop Christian anyway. So it's hard to tell.
This has nothing to do with the preseason.
That's true.
If you're scouting from the preseason,
that's true.
And you saw Dallas,
wow,
dude, there are some sleepers.
That's right. Every time I watched them, I fell asleep.
No, there was a running back.
Oh yeah, there was Deuce Vaughn.
He's like 2'4".
There's Deuce Vaughn. And then I forget the other guy, but I want to see what Zeke's going to do in his return to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
nobody's giving him a chance, but I have a feeling with CD Lamb finally getting his contract yesterday.
He got it.
Yeah.
I didn't hear.
4 years, $136 million.
Nice.
So $34 million a year makes him the second highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. I mean, what knock on wood, every time somebody holds out and they come in and they don't have that off-season transition and practice, you tend to see a lot of hamstring injuries.
They turn into plastic.
I hope that does not happen. I hope he has been working out and trying to get some reps while he was been holding out. But that's my only thing. If he stays healthy, this Cowboy team can make some noise.
Absolutely.
Same thing with the Texans, bro.
Yeah. Whereupon, if you are just a beginner in this fantasy league,
that's right.
Or if you're a pro at it, I suggest you go to a podcast that has Jason Leroy on there. He is from Green Bay. He loves Green Bay, but you've got to listen to his cast. He has got some wonderful, wonderful insight.
I think he's got the Horns Forward podcast that they do for the
he's
UFL.
Also affiliated with the Brahmas.
And then he does another. I'll try to find the link and I'll put that in the podcast.
Maybe we can get a phone call,
or maybe we can get him in there. Yeah, but talk to Jason Leroy. He knows his football, whether it's college, pros, XFL, NFL. The guys.
I'm just rooting for Carolina. They're in the hunt.
I'd really, I wouldn't be mad if they started the season really well. But if you're looking at McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb is now the number 2 person as far as draft wise.
Okay.
Usually,
now, if you're just now starting on this, I suggest you go to CBS, you go to Fantasy Pros, or you go to ESPN.com, and they will show you a beginner's PPR cheat sheet.
Yeah.
And that's where you can start.
And it all depends on how you do it. Some people don't go the PPR, which is points per reception.
Right.
That's if, not only do you get points for yards and touchdowns, but if they get 10 receptions, you get 10 points. So those are just points.
And you get
really
points
good.
For talking crap online.
Bro, I have 476 points. We have not even drafted yet.
Still lost.
Are
there any teams that come to mind, or is there a list of teams that these fantasy leagues have titled or called themselves? What teams do you have up there?
There's a lot of them. Last season, I had Chicks with Dax. We also, my other team this year is going to be called the Bare Naked CDs. And
wow,
there are so many good teams. I even had what was the name of the one I had?
Pigskin Pumpers.
Yeah, we had the Scrub City Players.
Oh, yeah.
The Dollar Generals.
Uh-huh.
The Dollar Generals.
Apul Madik.
Tom's Ribs.
There's some excellent names. If you want to join, actually, we have
Broke Dak Mountain.
We have actually an intermediate fantasy football league that we're going to be kicking off, and Goonie is actually going to be the administrator.
Oh, Crunt style?
And the commissioner. So, hey, send us an email or call us, and we would love to put you in, because right now we're at a 8-team. We can always expand or whatever.
We can. You got till 4 p.m. We've also got the, excuse me, my new team for this year is going to be called the Microphone Checkers from Micah Parsons.
Okay,
hey, you shut up. Oh, you rude. Oh, yeah, you.
Wow. All right.
But there's some good there's some good teams out there, man. I tell you what.
So be original and be creative
and be on time for the draft.
Yes, Beeman.
We got the Microphone Checkers. It's one of my favorites.
Okay, if you get first pick or first draw or sixth draw, who are going to be your first 2 players, Goonie?
If I get the first pick, I'm probably going to go Christian McCaffrey and I want to go CeeDee Lamb, but a lot of people want to go quarterback. So, but it's hard because if you're going to pick a quarterback, then you should probably take Mahomes if you're going to go in the first round. But with them being back-to-back champs, going for a third unprecedented Super Bowl in a row, everybody's going to get their best chance.
Is Wilson even going to be a first string or second string?
Oh my God,
is he still fighting for it?
Here's the thing. Coach Tomlin at Pittsburgh came out yesterday and said, we will announce a starter coming up
Wednesday.
If there's no more games to decide who is who. So you know what they said? If you have 2 starters, you have no starters. This guy is.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. He is. Everybody's talking about how Wilson is supposed to be now that they're getting him settled after a year, he should be fine. But Justin Fields, bro, he has shown a lot. And that's I would think that if I had to answer that question now, gun to a head, Russell Wilson will not be the starter.
Okay.
I know he definitely won't be by the end of the year. If he gets the start, I would guess by week 3, Fields will be the starter. But gun to my head, I'd say Fields is going to start game 1.
So who's your first quarterback?
First quarterback? Oh, man. A lot of people want to take Mahomes just because
Yep.
but last year he didn't get a lot of points per se.
Okay.
His defense was getting him points, and he was getting a lot of field goals. And everybody's going to give him their best shot because they want to beat that team. So if I had to go with one, I would go probably either excuse me. I would go with
I'm going Stabler.
Stabler.
If somebody gets Ken Stabler first, then I'm going to go Jim Plunkett.
Wow.
And then Kurt Warner. Oh my gosh, that is a dream team right there.
Josh Allen.
What, the comedian?
Yeah. Josh Allen, the comedian,
Good.
might be my first one. A lot of folks are high on Jalen Hurts, but don't.
Yes. Okay.
Don't forget about C.J. Stroud, because Stroud with Houston had a great year, and if you take a chance on him, there's a good chance he might be feast. But second year itch might be a famine. Might be a famine. So. A lot of people are going to be taking a chance on that guy. Since my team is called the Microphone Checkers, I might have to go all Cowboys. So I might have to take, Trey Lance.
Okay.
He had more. Let me just. I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here, but
okay.
This past week, Trey Lance had 5 interceptions in the game last week. Last season, Dak had 4 for the whole season. So everybody who says we need to play Lance instead of Dak because Dak can't do it in the when it counts, Trey couldn't do it when it didn't count.
I'm already dropping
what
Dak.
the hell?
I'm dropping him
Trey
already.
Lance couldn't even do it when it didn't count. So don't forget about when it does count.
Just so I can drop him.
That's all right. I'll take him.
I'll take him. They looked actually good today. I mean, this past weekend.
Right.
But I love to hate Dallas, and a lot of people say, "Oh, they're not the America's team anymore," but they will always be America's team. But something has got to give.
People who love them talk about them. People who hate them talk about them.
Yeah,
and that's more than any other team. Them in Pittsburgh.
Go Aaron Rodgers, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We have a guest speaker that just entered the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ ReNation.
Wow.
How y'all doing?
Oh, my goodness. I'll tell you what. Hey, DJ ReNation, what are your thoughts on this coming NFL season? What are you expecting? What are you hoping for? Best case scenario and what you really think is going to happen. Give me those 2 things.
Well, first off, Carolina's in the hunt.
Okay, I hear that a lot. I used to be in the hunt too, and then my gun broke, and then
here we are.
It ain't no fun when the rabbit gets the gun.
So, I think the biggest thing is, Carolina's going all the way.
Okay, all the way where?
There. Cowboys not so much.
Wow.
Sorry to tell you, hot take.
Oh.
Hot caca. I have to agree with you guys. I mean, Aaron Rodgers and those Jets, man, watch out, dude.
Hey, cousin Rodgers' Achilles.
There
bro.
we go.
Hey, like I was telling Tim earlier, if now that CD has his contract, the one thing I'm afraid of, since he wasn't in the off-season drills, any in the preseason games, practices, getting an injury. If he stays healthy, I think he could be the best wide receiver this year.
Nice.
But I say that with, I really hope he stays healthy. You don't want to see a hamstring because he hasn't been running those routes for 3 months.
An ankle,
Exactly.
whatever it may be. You never want to see any of those guys get hurt,
Hell no.
especially when they're so
$136 million. I'm sure he'll be all right.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I won't.
The ankle will grow back.
Yes, he can grow another one. He's part crab. He's part crab.
Crab apple.
Yeah, crabapple.
So,
yeah. So you are you high on Carolina? Are you what is you? I know you always think they're in the hunt, but what do you think they're going to do? Can they double their win total from last year? Can they get 6-7 wins? You think?
I think they can. Just with a a lot of the
Bryce.
management focusing on the O line, so they're going to give Bryce Young, a fighting chance this year.
He's already shown in the preseason that when he's upright, he can do it. I mean, he did that when in college.
Yep.
And the problem is the best quarterbacks always go to the worst teams. And the reason they're the worst teams is because they can't block, they can't pass rush, they can't block, they can't pass defend. And it's like, dude, if you can't keep your quarterback up, doesn't matter how good he is. I mean,
he doesn't have a fighting chance, you know. So, but
I wish McCaffrey would just say, you know what, I want to go home. I want to go to
back to
Carolina.
Carolina.
Yeah. In my mind, I'm going to Carolina, and see him do that. Because if Bryce Young has some freaking targets, some guys to throw the ball to, there's no doubt that team can make some noise. But that's every team right now is undefeated and does not have a loss, and so, but they're all. I honestly feel one or two players from being Super Bowl contenders. Every team is.
Okay.
But I feel Carolina, if just like Houston, if their quarterback can stay upright and they could make some noise in the AFC.
C.J. Stroud, man. I think y'all added Mixon got added into the mix. So definitely may not be a Cowboys fan living here in Texas, but the Texans definitely have my attention.
Yeah. They got everybody's attention last year when everybody was like, well, we'll see what he can do this year. And they freaking surprised a lot of people.
They went out and got Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
I mean,
now the thing is,
they made some serious additions. Man.
Hell yeah, they're not going to sneak up on anybody this year, and that's what could be, that's where the rubber's going to meet the road.
Okay.
Now that everybody knows who they are, it's going to be like, dude, like when Deshaun Watson came in, everybody's like, oh well, great. Now what are you going to do, for that? And then he wasn't surprising anybody anymore, except unless you were trying to massage him.
Oh, there you go.
But
Oopsie.
No. But C.J. Stroud, I'm looking forward to him having a good time. And that's the thing. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I don't mind if Houston kicks butt.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care I don't go against every other team unless they're playing the Cowboys.
Okay.
So like
That's
when
fair.
Carolina's playing, if they ain't playing the Cowboys, I hope they win.
Come on, Carolina.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say, oh well, what did your team do last week?
Yeah.
I'll do it unless they were playing the Cowboys.
I want to see Cam Newton and Kaepernick.
Now don't
head to head.
now don't get me wrong. I have plenty of Cowboy fan friends who just talk trash all the time. It's like, dude, you're the reason why people hate the Cowboys fans so much, because you can't get out of your own way. Like the Aggies and the Longhorns.
Okay.
I love them both. I tell Aggie jokes, I tell Longhorn jokes. I don't hate either one of them.
Yeah.
I went to UT in Austin. My nephew graduated from Aggie Land.
Yeah. Come on, Jay.
I want to see them.
By UTSA.
Yeah, I drove. I've been kicked out of some of the finest learning institutions in this state. I tell you what. And so when UT and the Aggies play, I want it to be a good game. And no matter who wins, I mean, if the Longhorns are undefeated and they have a chance to go undefeated, then I'm going to want them to win. If the Aggies are at top, I'll just want them to win. I want the better team to win, and I don't want it to be caused by a fluke, by a bad call, anything.
Just
same thing with every
good football.
Hell
man.
yeah.
Make it competitive.
Mama said that football players don't like to play football because all they want is the money and they win.
Mama's wrong again.
Mama had a medulla oblongata, I tell you what. Oh, so let me get your thoughts on a few of these things from college, because college started last week.
Yep.
High school started too.
The first game, Georgia Tech and Florida State. Georgia Tech get a last-second field goal beating Florida State. It was in Ireland, but it still counts. It's like, dude, if you came in and last year you were mad that you didn't make the playoffs because you were undefeated, and then you get boat raced by Georgia 60 points in the Orange Bowl, and then you just totally give up after you don't make that playoff, and then in the first game of the season, you want to prove everybody wrong, and then what do? You lose to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, it's obvious you couldn't beat Georgia last year. Now you can't beat Georgia Tech. Maybe they could put Georgia Southern on the schedule next year and see if they can beat them.
Georgia JUCO.
Yeah. So I mean, that's going to be one of those games where that could come back and haunt them. Now that there's 12 teams in the playoff, maybe they can still sneak in, but they're going to have to do a lot to try to convince people that they belong after that turd upper decker they left in week one.
Sometimes you have them, sometimes you don't. I'm big on Oregon.
Oh shoot, Oregon has got some people talking. Georgia and Clemson 1 versus 14. That should be a good game this week.
Come on, Clemson.
Texas and Colorado State. I mean, that better be a blowout. I know probably the mark.
Why would that be a blowout?
Because Colorado State sucks. They can't even beat
Hot take.
Colorado.
Say crap like
Hot
that.
take.
One of the better games that I'm guessing, there's a couple of games on this schedule that should be pretty good. Number 20, Texas A&M versus Notre Dame.
Come
Number
on,
7.
Aggies. That's going to be a good one.
I want to watch that one. And 13 LSU against 23rd ranked USC.
LSU.
Oh, go Tigers.
Yes, I'm saying. I'm SEC now. I'm SEC
Where are my
through and
Tar
through.
Heels? Where's the Tar Heels going?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
I don't know who they're playing, but somebody was telling me.
Carolina. They're in the hunt.
If you look at their schedule, somebody told me that they don't play a game outside of 10 miles from their campus until like November.
Wow.
They're playing a bunch of Carolina teams, and
Okay.
every other long, prospectively long travel game is a home game. So
good.
somebody told me that they
Raleigh-Durham
don't
is
leave.
beautiful.
They don't leave like a 20-mile radius for like until November, and that's
Wow.
Mac Brown. If he's got a rested team, you know what he can
Look
do.
out, man.
He brought Texas back to prominence, and I think he would have had another championship if not for Colt McCoy getting injured. And so, but anyway, that being said, what about your Carolina? Who are they playing this week?
So it looks like they got Minnesota matchup. Yeah,
okay.
that one's a late game, but
This Saturday, right?
Thursday actually.
Ooh, it's early, so they're going to be
Yeah.
national televised, bro.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see my Tar Heels this year.
All eyes on
So
Carolina.
there's going to be an NFL game Thursday, right?
No,
Yeah.
not till next week.
Not until
Yeah, they got a week off now.
All right.
Now they're going to cut
So you
cut
have
down
time
everything
to
to
see the Tar
53.
Heels.
But Saturday, what I'll also be watching 2:30 p.m. UTSA and Kennesaw State, the matchup of all matchups. Our Dirty Birds trying to get their 2024 season started right. I think, and Texas, they play the Longhorns in Austin this year, so that's probably going to be a pretty thorough butt kicking that UTSA Roadrunners are going to take. But
Come on, Utsa.
if they can get some wins and they can pile up some wins early and ride a wave after that Longhorn game, I think they could be a last minute top 12 team that
Okay.
makes it into the finals. Will they? I don't think so.
Remains to
but
be
I think they
seen.
could. I think they could. There's like 25 to 40 teams maybe that think they should be part of the 12.
Okay.
I think that number is probably closer to 15 to 20 teams that really deserve it.
Yeah.
But hey, Florida State was one of those that thought they were, and
enough.
Georgia Tech said, "Well, we beat
Why
you,
not
so
us?"
why not us?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they can build momentum, it's like everything. If you can get an early win over a top 10, top 5 team, oh my gosh, that could take you. You could ride it all the way through.
Okay,
said
but
it.
the money is in the NFL. ReNation, what is going to be your first round pick?
Wow.
Are you going to go quarterback?
If you
running back?
if you get a top 5 pick, what is
So me being a Carolina fan, I got to go with McCaffrey.
wow.
I got to
The,
McCaffrey.
the smart money is going there.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier about how with Ayuk not sure where he's going to be, that could either help McCaffrey because he gets more touches, or it could hurt him because that long ball threat is gone, and now they can just stack the box. Ayuk
exactly.
brought the run and the pass to it. McCaffrey does too, but if you had both of them together, that could be crazy. Even though you don't get as many touches, but your touches could be more wide open.
You got it. I mean, they still have some other weapons too with Kittle as well as Debo Samuel. Over
Exactly.
there. So I mean, they got some other guys that can at least open it up to where they're not going to be queuing on McCaffrey, which is real nice. So.
Exactly. And again, that's with any other team. With the
Yeah.
Cowboys, if you're looking at Zeke, and then you're looking at Ferguson on tight end,
Yep.
and then you're looking at CeeDee Lamb, and then you're looking, it just, how can you stop all of them? And then you got
Agreed.
Micah Parsons on defense, who is just going to freaking hopefully just take defense.
Was he playing running back during the preseason?
I don't know what
I'm gonna pick him
I
anyway.
didn't see a lot of the preseason stuff, but I did hear a lot of crazy stuff going on. I was like, why not? Why not? I mean, if you're gonna have Mahomes doing behind the back passes to Kelsey in the preseason, I'd love to see
wild.
that when the games count. And you will probably.
Oh yeah, for sure.
First
They've
half of
always got
game
some
one.
trickery over there in
Why
Kansas
not?
City.
Why not? Because if they're expecting it and you do it and you get away with it, then that just shows, hey, we're that good.
Yeah, for
we're,
sure.
we're that damn good.
Yeah.
The guy practices.
goodness.
He practices off balance throws. He practices right and left handed throws. Just because he does, he doesn't want there to be any surprises.
Of course not.
If I can take every off-script play and say, well, this might happen, so I better learn how to do this. And if he can do that, then that's why they've won 2 in a row,
Yep.
and they're
they're looking at a third. I mean,
third.
I don't want to jinx anything, but
if anybody could do it, they would.
I am a Patty Mahomes fan, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
granted, the
TCU, man.
Texas Tech, Red Raiders.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, good times.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, those are the things you just never know. If I had a top 5 pick or a number 1 pick, I'd probably have to go with McCaffrey as well. If it ends up being like people sometimes they'll make a run on the quarterbacks that everybody goes after.
Yeah.
If I was going to pick a quarterback first, I want to say I'd take Mahomes, but I don't know if I would because he didn't have a lot of big touchdown games and big fantasy points.
Yeah.
Maybe Hurts, maybe Josh Allen. When I come to
think,
quarterback,
Dak is still a good choice.
Exactly.
You know?
You just never know. I mean, with him, it's always, is he not going to be injured? But if you guys want to be in on the league, if y'all want to join the fantasy league, send me an email.
You got 4 hours.
Send me an email. You got 4 hours before the draft. My email is greg_menchaca@yahoo.com. Send me your email, and I will send you a link to join the virtual country league. It's going to be great. Microphone checkers are looking to beat some ass, and that's why I was thinking that this was going to be a fantasy edition with the Backdoor Friends 8.
Well,
but it happens. It happens.
And we are not like dingoes. We are not going to try and
We're not going to
tear
try.
y'all apart. If y'all need some help, give us a holler. Give us an email. We'll give you the suggestions and recommendations.
And here's the thing: I will not tear you apart on the field. I will tear you apart in the comments.
Oh yeah.
Because I talk a lot of trash when I win. I talk even more trash when I lose.
Tape recorder. Goonie made Jim Rome cry.
That's right. Because I talked about his mother.
I remember that.
That's true. It's true. I talk about everybody's mother. I even talk about my own mother. I mean, come on, let's go. If your own mother isn't even off topic, off script,
No mothers are safe.
That's right. No mothers are safe. It's kind of like a picture perfect Menchaca reunion. None of the women are safe. So I tell you what, guys, we had a great time. I want to thank DJ ReNation for coming in and classing up the joint and talking some fantasy football. Any last minute ideas on either college or NFL before the draft? What are your thoughts?
Well, as always, I appreciate y'all for having me on.
God dang right.
Following that, Carolina's in the hunt. It doesn't matter if it's in college or NFL. We're ready to go. And then right after that, coming up, we got the Spurs season. So
oh man, we'll talk plenty of Spurs once we get closer to October when the season heads out. With Chris Paul, CP3, and Wemby the One. Before we go, I did want to send a shout out to the Bernie Little League. Those guys made it to the USA Championship.
Awesome.
And I'll tell you about my rant next week, probably. They're the only team that got eliminated with just one loss.
Yep.
Everybody else lost twice before they were knocked out.
Yep.
Got to give it to Florida.
But you got to give it to Florida. They played perfectly.
Yeah,
when they needed it the most, they had it. And the Bernie guys got injuries and just could not come back from that.
Game, though, man.
But you know
Great
what?
game.
They're champions. They are champions in my book.
Come on.
For a team that didn't even win a Little League World Series game last year to come in,
And
even
go
through
as far as they
qualifying,
did.
to come in, win all the way, and not lose all season until that last game. It's heartbroken, but they were consoling each other, and that's what it's really all about, is the camaraderie that you build with those guys. But, man, hats off to them. And I agree with everything you say. Carolina is in the hunt. But I do believe that the Jets have officially been eliminated from playoff contention, along with the Steelers, the Browns, and whoever team Manziel's playing for. I'm probably the Wabasha
Argonauts.
The Wabasha Argonauts.
Go Kaepernick.
But until next time, we will see you guys. This is episode 323 of the True Bull Virtual Cast with Goonie and Nemo and DJ ReNation, brought to you by J&T Mechanical, Nemo Graphics, Virtual Country.
This was not This was not brought to you by J&T Mechanical.
Wow.
I had texted and said, hey, right here. And there's an and
okay. So we are no longer brought to you by J&T Mechanical. We are now brought to you by House of Hughes and John Fest. Send him an email. Send him an email.
Keys, baby.
Send him an email on Big E's Keys, maybe. First Do Lawn Care, maybe. Yeah, maybe Tactical Finish. Maybe Pro Finish. There's a lot of different. We know a lot of people. Redline Guns. Maybe we're brought to by them. Give them a call. But anyway, so that
here we are,
brought to you all by all of those, or maybe none of those, depending on who sends us some money. Until next time, we hope you guys enjoyed episode 323 from the fabulous Nemosa Studios in beautiful Bull Verde, Texas. Second floor studios, clothing optional as always. Hades says hi. Riley says bring me some Ripple, and we will catch y'all down the road. God bless you guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
And that's right. Wait a minute. I forgot to say something. I'm going to do the draft as well. And when I draft, everybody feels the draft. Like one time I was wearing my huaraches, and I was wearing my small skirt. It looked like a long belt.
No.
And
No, Grandma.
I felt the draft. Boy, and I felt another draft.
Super Granny, your ride is here.
I'll be back, and I'll be back next week with some more adventures of Super Granny, the Revenge of the Betties, me and Blister and Fez and Freddy and Bimmel and all the Dookies. We're gonna be all right, and we talk about some football, but we talk about some Super Granny as well, and I thank you.
Goodbye, tape recorder.
Oh yes.